Hi everyone, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Hulk from Avengers Age of Ultron, and that is part of the Thanos Build-A-Figure wave. As you can see, he fills up the box nicely. On the side of the box we have nice artwork, and then on the back of the box we have a small bio and a very strange prototype photo there. You can see that the hinge really comes very far into the hand there. That looks very ugly on this photo, and it just, I don't know, the lighting and everything just makes it look very strange colour. But then down here at the bottom of the box we have everyone else in the wave. I have already done a review for Spider-Woman, and the next one is going to be Iron Man. So stay tuned for all of them except for Hellcat not getting that figure. And as always, I'll be doing the Build-A-Figure at the end. So let's get this thing open and take a closer look. So the first thing out of the box is the Build-A-Figure piece, and as you can see it is the right arm to Thanos, and like I just mentioned, I'll be doing the Thanos Build-A-Figure review once I've done the reviews for everyone else in the wave. And here is the Hulk out of the packaging, and this figure, to me, I have a very mixed opinion towards. It's got some really great features, and then some ones that are just really bad and pretty much unexcusable, really. So let's start up with some close-up details, and the first big detail that I want to talk to you about is basically the colour. Now, I don't know how well it's coming across on camera. Depending on whose video you watch or what pictures you look at, it will vary, but the entire torso is a different colour to the arms, the face, and to the feet. From what I can see right now on camera, it's not that bad. And looking at the figure with my own eyes right now, I cannot see the difference between the shades at all. That's with my, pure white lights shining at it. It's perfectly fine. It looks incredible. When I got it out of the box earlier and it was in daylight, it looked a completely different shade, and on some other people's reviews as well, I've seen it looks so different. So it's basically dependent on what kind of lighting you have it in. So if you got the sun directly bouncing off it, for me earlier it did look like a completely different shade, whereas now in these awesome lights it looks, well, maybe slightly different, but only because of the actual finish of the thing. Like, the actual colour looks the same to me right now, but that's another thing I've got to get to. The actual finish of it. Basically, over here is Ultimate Green Goblin. This was a Build-A-Figure, but it was made using some of the pieces from the first Avengers Hulk figure, i.e. these legs right here and all of this torso. Now you can see on the torso, it's got all these nice little lines and wrinkles and bits and bobs of, nice bits of moulding in there, but you've also got the great musculature with it, with all of its little lines and whatnot too, so it's not just all the kind of scars and stuff on the skin. And then with this guy, we have the completely new torso. I don't know if these parts of the arms here were reused from the original Hulk or not, I'm not really too sure. But what I can tell you is that here we've got veins and really nice musculature in the way that it's a lot more defined. Here it just looks very smooth. You can see that on his face it looks very realistic with all of the wrinkles and whatnot, and I don't want to, I mean, it's not like he's got a sharp face, but if you know what I mean, like by the sharpness of the muscles and just how it's all very defined. Just think of this being in like 720p and this being in 1080p. It looks a bit less kind of blurred, less smooth. It's got more sharpness. Think of it that way. The entire torso just doesn't really suit the rest of the figure, really. It's all got so much detail, and this is just so bland. It's got the muscles and everything molded there, but no actual skin detail or surface detail. It just kind of looks a little bit unfinished, and that is very much the feeling that you get when you do actually notice that the colours are different, because it looks like this is still kind of like a prototype chest piece or something. But other than that, the chest does look very nice. As you can see, the entire torso is a little bit slimmer. It's not as wide at the arms, and it's actually a little bit taller. So he is actually a 1/4 of an inch taller than the Ultimate Green Goblin right here. He stands at 8.5 inches tall. And from that Ultimate Green Goblin Build-A-Figure, you can obviously still, use these flames. You can rest them on his back there, and you can take the ones that were on his arms, and you can put them on there. So you can, make him look like he's leaping through fire and whatnot. So yeah, really cool display options if you have that Build-A-Figure and these flame parts already. They will work perfectly with this figure. And this is how that compares to a standard 6.5-inch Marvel Legends figure such as Daredevil right here. So I very much do like what they've done with the chest in making it a little bit slimmer, a little bit kind of more movie accurate really, and just making it that tiny bit taller, because who doesn't like a tall Hulk? And I do really like what they've done with the head sculpt. It does look more like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk than the original one did, so I do like that a hell of a lot more. The eyes are painted well, so are the teeth and the hair and everything. There's no shading, just like there isn't any shading throughout the entire figure. I've got a bit of a black spot on the back there. I'll have to try and get that off, but that's not too much of a problem. We have the nice little Avengers logo right there on either side of the thighs. We have this little red line here, which I don't really like, or purple, whatever it is. Now, I like the design, but I don't like how they've done it. They've kept the kind of wide joint hips like they used before, so it means that when you move the leg up, the line then gets split, and I think it just would have worked so much better if they'd just used T-jointing hips with this guy. It's not like they don't have the space. I mean, look at the size of him, you know? If they can do it in a crotch that big, why can't they do it in a crotch that big? I have no idea. It would have worked so much better. Taking a closer look here at these legs, you can see the amount of detail that's been put into it, and that's why also it's just kind of, you know, annoying that they haven't put that kind of detail into the skin texture on this torso to make it suit the rest of the figure, but it doesn't really matter too much. Like I say, in this lighting, to me, the shades are pretty much exactly the same, so it looks fine, but when you get it in daylight, it really does look a lot different and very bad, honestly. Now, as for the accuracy of this, I have no idea if the colour of these trousers here are actually accurate, because the Hot Toys one, they are a hell of a lot lighter. They're like a light blue, and here obviously they're very, very dark, kind of almost purplish. So I've no idea if, you know, either one is accurate or if they both are or whatever. I have no idea. One thing I don't like is that the legs here are reused, so the texture doesn't actually carry on down here. It's just painted, but, you know, that's not too much of a big deal, really. And then we have the nice texture down here, you know, with all the veins and whatnot on the feet. Another thing I don't like are that the forearms actually look like they are basically sleeves over his hands. He just doesn't have any wrists. The forearms don't get any narrower like they should to the wrist, so it just looks like it could have been extended there a little bit and actually given us a proper wrist, because it just looks like these are just coming over his hand like a coat or something, you know, like a sleeve. So it just looks a little bit strange, and obviously if there was a bit more room there, it just might look a little bit better, because when you move the hand like that, obviously, you know, as you can see, you can definitely see the joint on anyone's actual hand. Here the joint is inside, so like I say, it just looks like a sleeve, and it's just very, very strange. And if it was actually narrowed down and the hand brought out a little bit, then that would have allowed for more movement of the wrist in. I mean, out goes fine, but in isn't really too great. And then also to do with the joints, these discs here on the hinges on the shoulders, as you can see, it's bigger than the actual shoulder itself, even more so on this one, so it sticks out. It's exactly the same down onto these hips here, but they're not even the same size as the hips themselves, and they don't move, so they stick out at both sides when you move the joint. So very, very ugly. I really don't like the design. So yeah, it does very much feel kind of like a prototype figure. So seeing as we've touched on it quite a bit here, let's just take a look at the actual articulation. So the head moves left and right, no problem. Up a tiny little bit, down a tiny little bit. I would normally say I wish that a character this tall could look down a lot more than that, but that comes good with the great torso articulation. As you can see, you can crunch him down a good way so he can look directly down at whoever is standing underneath him. It can also come up really far. Unfortunately, as you can see, there is a huge gap in there. Really do not like that at all. And then at the diaphragm joint, it moves left and right too, but when you move it more, it kind of pushes up by the side, so he ends up actually rotating upwards instead of just left and right, so I do not like that. He does also move side to side like that, but very, very loose. This torso joint is extremely loose. Like, it'll hold its position, but if you budge it, it'll just move. You know, you can shake it around. It's not very nice at all. Also, it never kind of centers perfectly. As you can see, it's fine there, and if I move it forwards a little bit, it wants to either lock that one or that one. It doesn't, you know, it will go there in the middle, but if it gets knocked, it will rock to one side. So I don't really like that too much either. At the shoulders, all the way up and all the way around. Rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbows which only move 90 degrees. You've seen the wrist articulation, it swivels, it doesn't really go in as much as you would want it to, but it goes out. And then the wide jointed hips, so the legs can go all the way forward, but you have to twist it round. They don't go back, they go all the way out to the side. You obviously got the thigh rotation there. Double jointed knees, the feet don't go up for good walking poses, so I don't really like that, but they do go all the way down. And you have ankle pivot. Now another thing that is very strange that I do not like at all is this arm, you may have seen it, is actually higher up than this one. You can see here that there's more traps and shoulder molded right there as opposed to there, so that can be actually set into the body a little bit higher. I have absolutely no idea why they would want to do that. You can see even more from the back that it does sit higher than that one. I don't know where that kind of thought would ever come from. Why the hell would they put one shoulder higher than the other? Unless they're working from a particular picture or something, I have no idea. So, as you can see, there are a lot of flaws to this guy. Now, like I've said, you know, in certain lighting, it looks great, like with the colours matching and everything. So I really do like this figure. I don't have the original Hulk one, and I would definitely say that the head sculpt and the fact that it's, you know, got a better chest in some ways, with him being taller and slimmer and looking a bit more kind of movie accurate in my opinion. I really do think that this is an absolutely fantastic figure if you're collecting the, you know, Avengers Age of Ultron Marvel Legends. If you don't really care about the Build-A-Figure, I would say just get a Marvel Select version. It's probably going to be bigger and a hell of a lot more detailed and more accurate. Maybe less articulation, but who knows. So if you don't mind about a couple of the little faults, you know, he's going to look fine on a shelf, and he's going to look fine, you know, for kids to play with. You know, he's going to be perfectly fine for that. So I really do recommend this figure. If you don't have, you know, other Hulk figures and you are collecting your movie figures and whatnot, so you can have them displayed there, and you don't want to get like a Marvel Select or something, and if you really like the Thanos Build-A-Figure, you're not going to be, you know, unhappy in buying this guy. Yes, it's not as good as it could have been, but providing that you buy him for the same price as the rest of the wave, then, you know, that's a fantastic value for this figure, and I really do recommend it. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if you want to see more Hulk videos, I just recently uploaded the Galactus Wave First Appearance Hulk, and if you want to check out the video for that Ultimate Green Goblin that I showed in this video, I'll go ahead and put that link in the description below so you can go and check that out. If you want to see more pictures of stuff from my collection and things that I'm going to be doing reviews of in the future, go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's Homerino123 for both, and links will be in the description below. And to see more Marvel Legends reviews and the rest of this wave, go ahead and subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.